Okay, let's see if that worked. Okay, well, I mean, that's working now. What the heck happened there? That was weird. Yeah, I don't know. So I'll give a couple of minutes here, just let everybody kind of filter back in. When I did my pre-stream testing, it all worked just fine. I was checking my audio levels because I actually figured out that one of the reasons that my microphone has been so loud sometimes and so quiet other times is that my audio editing software, which is completely different software, was actually controlling it. It was really weird. So I adjusted the audio levels to hopefully get rid of some of that clicking and popping that some of you said that you were hearing, because I think that was just because the microphone was turned up too loud. So I don't know. It worked perfect before I actually launched, and now all of a sudden it cut out on me. I think David said it like worked for like 10 seconds and then it went away. So we'll give a couple of minutes. We'll let everybody kind of bounce back in here. And it looks like there's a little delay in my audio too. That's really weird. Okay, so I don't know what's going on. I'm glad the sound is okay. Maybe I need an update. Usually that means there's some kind of an update. When my software starts glitching out, there's usually an update that needs to happen. So sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So while we are doing that, low audio and now buffering. So you have low audio and buffering. All right, well, let's try this. I'm going to try something, and you tell me if this works, okay? Because I have a theory about this. I'm going to open up this editing software, and it's going to be able to change my microphone level. So I'm going to put my microphone up here. So microphone should be a lot louder now. And if I take a look at it, my audio levels are much louder now in this software. Even though it's totally different software packages, they don't work together at all. It's really weird. Yeah, very strange. Yeah, I guess they don't like me very much. I don't know what the deal is. But yeah, so Audacity, which is just my free editing software for audio, Audacity has mic controls in there for when I'm recording audio and stuff, and apparently whenever I adjust that, it changes my microphone levels here. Makes no sense, shouldn't work that way, it's a gremlin thing, but hey, there you go. Alright, so we've got that taken care of. I'll just get out of that thing. I honestly have no idea what happened, folks, and I'm sorry about that. Good thing we're launching premium next week. So we already lost a bunch of people, and hopefully they'll find their way back in here. But yeah, I don't know what the heck that was all about, folks. No idea. All right, so a couple of things. First of all, I want you to like, subscribe, share, please, on the video. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that bell icon for notifications. If you're on Facebook, you can also host a watch party. Okay, so you can actually host my video and have your friends watch privately. That'll work great. Let's see. If Trump gets reelected, this is going to be their next chance at impeachment. Well, they're already looking at it. Yeah, they've already set up another special commission. Adam Schiff has done that. Adam Schiff, who has been caught lying to everybody, broke the law with document leaks and everything else. But yeah, it's, here's the thing. There's a theory that if Trump wins re-election, people will calm down. I don't think so. I think they're going to double down. And I think that they're going to get rid of a lot of the old guard Democrats that they view as moderate. And that would, I know, shockingly include Nancy Pelosi, because she is considered a moderate according to the radical left, in spite of the fact that she's a radical herself. And we've got some Pelosi audio for you today also. Thank you, Darren. Appreciate that. I would also like to remind everybody to check out our sponsor, silverfoxart.com. William, by the way, if you're in here, there you are. I saw your piece. So they sent me a picture of your piece. Dude, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but holy smokes, it is amazing. Looks great. Looks fantastic. So I think you're going to be absolutely thrilled with it. Go to silverfoxart.com, and don't forget, in the subject line, when you make your inquiry, put the coupon code BananaFace25, and you will get a discount on your artwork. Plus, if you're a veteran, you get 10% off anyway. So go to silverfoxart.com. As always, let the sponsors know that you learned about them through my program. Premium launches next week. So if you are interested in seeing these videos and other content that I am going to be making every day, make sure you sign up for my premium service, because next week, this is what's going to happen. On Mondays, I am going to do the free show just like you're watching it right now. So if you're watching it on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or Facebook, you will get this show on Mondays for free, just like it is exactly at this moment. Okay, hopefully with better audio and no glitches at the beginning of it. Other than that, every other piece of content that I'm going to do, aside from my radio show content's always going to be free, but that other stuff is going to be a part of the premium service at Podbean. So you have to go to podbean.com, you have to set up a free account, you have to follow me, and caseythehost.podbean.com is my site over there, and in the right sidebar you'll see premium plans. Make sure you select one of those premium plans. Do not click become a patron. That is not set up to work on my system. Let's see. I didn't know that, William, dude. I didn't know it was a gift. Sorry. It looks cool, though. I'm sorry, man. I didn't know. I didn't. Nobody told me it was a secret. I'm sorry. I was just stoked to see it. All right. Well, it looks amazing. Sorry, but it's fantastic. For those of you who do sign up for premium, we are going to have some amazing giveaways from silverfoxart.com. And I can't wait to unveil those. So we'll probably unveil those on Monday, okay? So make sure you're watching Monday to see what you can win if you're a premium subscriber over there on Podbean. All right, so I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that I assumed when Darren was sending me the pictures that you had already seen them. And so I was like, oh, that's really cool. Oops. Oh, boy. No, the app does not. You have to go to the website. I'm sorry that they don't have that. They say that they're working on it. And the patron program is not set up to work right now. Otherwise, I would just do the patron program for everybody. I don't know why it's a deal, but it is. I'm sorry about that. So if you go to the website at podbean.com, okay, caseythehost.podbean.com, in the right sidebar, you'll do that. Once you do that on the web, you can use their free mobile app for all of that other stuff, okay? As long as you're logged into Podbean, you'll be able to access the premium content. So you have to go to the desktop website. You have to do that. Like I said, that's just because the patron program is not set up to work with my bank account and all of that stuff. So, and rather than try and deal with changing everything around, I didn't realize there was two plans at the same time that did basically the same thing. I don't know why they have it that way. It doesn't make any sense, but that's just how it's set up. So I apologize about the minor inconvenience of having you visit one website for 3 minutes and then never having to visit there again. So I apologize about that. All right, so we got a chit-chat about, you can sense my sarcasm. We got a chit-chat about this fake news. So naturally, everybody, oh my God! I watched BBC last night. Trump told people to inject Lysol. No, he didn't, you effing moron. No, he did not. Here's the thing. So a CNN Dorcas that I just saw on Twitter was attacking Breitbart for doing a fact check on this because the president did not tell you to inject cleaners into your body. And by the way, I find it ironic that yesterday we had a story about how people were getting sick on industrial cleaner. And then today the media is running with Trump told you to inject industrial cleaner. It's nonsense. It didn't happen. I'll play you the audio of what did happen so you can actually hear it for yourself. But it is absolutely ridiculous. The lowest cost on the premium Podbean is $2 a month, man. And you can buy a year for $20 if you want. Give you a month for free. That's the lowest tier. So, and again, that helps me cover the cost of doing everything. So the premium plans, like I said, they're on there. If you want to get one of the more expensive plans, you can. I'll do some extra stuff for the higher tiers and things like that to show them some support, since they're supporting me. But every single premium plan will access the content, okay? Every single one of them. All right, and I thank you for your support. And for those of you who have signed up already, thank you so much. Seriously, I really do appreciate it. All right, so when you have people running around and telling you that, hey, Trump told you to inject Lysol and that sort of thing, which of course he did not do. It's absurd. It's absolutely ridiculous. But There is still a guy on CNN. There's several people in the press, but this is just one individual I just happened to see right before I launched the stream. And he's like, Breitbart will do anything to defend Trump, even though you heard Trump say it, except he didn't say it. So you didn't hear Trump say it. That didn't happen. But CNN is telling you that it happened. And as I have said before, repeatedly, they will use a fake scandal against Trump. When it flares out, they'll move on to the next one, move on to the next one, move on to the next one. And then when they run out of things to be angry about, they will go back into their archives and they will resurrect they will resurrect an old fake scandal and make it new again. So this is what happened last night. They resurrected the old fish tank cleaner story to be Trump told you to inject cleaner. Now, when they told you about the fish tank cleaner story, that was all based on hydroxychloroquine, which absolutely is an effective treatment against coronavirus. There isn't a significant peer-reviewed piece of research that shows otherwise. And this latest so-called study that happened in Politico here this past week is not even a real scientific study. I've gone over this repeatedly, and I was glad to see that some people in the press were starting to go over that last night because it's not true. By the way, this is not high C, or not high C, but it's not Kool-Aid. It's my Mio energy water. All right, so anyway, they went ahead and they recycled the old, Trump told you to drink fish tank cleaner story, which was a lie, and they now have new information. They have new information to basically say that she murdered her husband. So that seems to be the direction that particular case is going. So now we've got this Trump told you to inject cleaner in your body to cure coronavirus, which he, again, did not do. So I want to play you the entire thing, okay? So, he's got, who is this guy? I forget his name. Sorry, just drawing a blank here. He's from DHS. For crying out loud. Bill Bryan, he's the Undersecretary for Science and Technology at the Department of Homeland Security, okay? So Bill Bryan is coming out there and he's talking about some of the things that I've told you about before, such as the heat, the moisture, things like that, which have been around since the very beginnings of the virus, that these may be things that kill it. And they get into the UV light. Now, I've been telling you for weeks about Dr. Brenner's research on this special band of UV light that kills the virus. So for weeks I have been talking about this, and I've got a bunch of members of the press who are pretending that doctors have dismissed this. The BBC actually said that doctors have dismissed the UV light thing. No, they haven't. Not only have they not dismissed it, they've embraced it as a new potential treatment alternative. And there's now Cedars-Sinai is working with the federal government to help develop this technology further. But this is all research based on Dr. Brenner. And Dr. Brenner has been very vocal about this over the past several weeks. He's presented his research. It appears to be valid, at least in the early stages, and we're hoping that it can develop further. I was still in the radio station. This is before I got sick. So this is before I even went into isolation. I told you about Dr. Brenner's work. So it's been over a month, okay? At a bare minimum, it has been over a month since I told you about his UV light research, and you got members of the press pretending that doctors are dismissing it. No, they're not. If they are, they're really behind. And anybody in the media who doesn't know that this UV story is out there is not doing their job. Because everybody should be scouring the internet looking at what the treatments are and everything else, and they're just choosing not to. So I want to play for you what Trump actually said. It starts off with Bill Bryan. Again, he's the Undersecretary for Science and Technology at the Department of Homeland Security. In other words, he has more qualifications than you, Kyle, on Twitter. But I want you to pay attention.
Within the conditions we've tested to date, the virus in droplets of saliva survives best in indoors and dry conditions. The virus does not survive as well in droplets of saliva, and that's important because a lot of testing being done is not necessarily being done, number one, with the COVID-19 virus, and number two, in saliva or respiratory fluids. And thirdly, the virus dies the quickest in the presence of direct sunlight under these conditions. And when you look at that chart, look at the aerosol as you breathe it. You put it in a room, 70 to 75 degrees, 20% humidity, low humidity. It lasts, the half-life is about an hour. But you get outside and it cuts down to a minute and a half. Very significant difference when it gets hit with UV rays. Mr. President, While there are many unknown links in the COVID-19 transmission chain, we believe these trends can support practical decision-making to lower the risks associated with the virus. If I could have my next slide. And while that comes up, you'll see a number of some practical applications. For example, increasing the temperature and humidity of potentially contaminated indoor spaces appears to reduce the stability of the virus. And extra care may be warranted for dry environments that do not have exposure to solar light. We're also testing disinfectants readily available. We've tested bleach. We've tested isopropyl alcohol on the virus, specifically in saliva or in respiratory fluids. And I can tell you that bleach will kill the virus in 5 minutes. Isopropyl alcohol will kill the virus in 30 seconds. And that's with no manipulation, no rubbing, just spraying it on and leaving it go. You rub it and it goes away even faster. We're also looking at other disinfectants, specifically looking at the COVID-19 virus in saliva.
So supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number on the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me. So we'll see. But the whole concept of the light, the way it kills it in 1 minute, that's pretty powerful.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching.
So that's the president. So basically what they're telling you is they're looking at this and they're saying Bill Bryan talked about UV light and he also talked about readily available cleaners and things like that. And because the president brought up injections and cleaning the blood and things like that from inside the body, that means he meant to inject Lysol, which is of course absurd. And I mean, you would have to be doing some extreme mental gymnastics to even consider that as a possibility. The reality is we do take blood out of the body and clean it and put it back in the body. So there's already a process for this. Now, what I will say is I don't think the president should be spitballing while he's up at the podium and doing that, because what that does is, as you're spitballing stuff, you're not using scientific terms and things of that nature, and that leads the press to go ahead and manipulate what you said. So he's got to probably rein that in quite a bit. Now, the president didn't do himself any favors today when he came out and he said he was being sarcastic, because he obviously wasn't being sarcastic there. He was being very serious. Now, at the same time, we know that he wasn't telling you to inject Lysol in the body, but he did spitball. Is there a way that we can get these things that do kill the virus? Is there a way that we can do it to where, it can be done internally in the body and that sort of thing? He wasn't telling you to inject Lysol in your body. That's absurd. There's no way to interpret it that way. You're just being overly simplistic if you do. But that didn't stop Nancy Pelosi. Here's what Nancy Pelosi did.
I just want to review that timetable, because when I heard Mitch on the floor the other day, he was saying we have all these things in here that we asked for. No, you rejected. But speaking
No, they
of
didn't.
Mitch, what's gotten into him? Well, it's an indication. The president is asking people to inject Lysol into their lungs, and Mitch is saying that states should go bankrupt. It's a clear, visible, within 24 hours of how the Republicans reject science and reject governance. If you don't believe in science and you don't believe in governance, that's their approach. And we do not. We don't want any more government than we need, but we know that governance has a role. And we know that science has a role. And without science in our decision making, we are not going to be on a very successful path.
Of course, Nancy Pelosi has given multiple false scientific statements throughout this whole process, but I digress. Nobody cares about that. So immediately following what the president had said, Jonathan Karl, who is one of the most partisan people in the White House press pool, he's from ABC News, he goes, "The president mentioned the idea of a cleaner, bleach, and isopropyl alcohol emerging. There's no scenario where that could be injected into a person, is there?" And at that point, Brian said, "No, I'm here to talk about the findings that we had in the study. We We don't do that within that lab at our labs, okay? So you say, no, we're not talking about injecting anything. So then what ends up happening, and this was left out of the clip that I played for you, the president comes back and goes, it wouldn't be through injections. You're talking about almost a cleaning and sterilization of an area. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but it certainly has a big effect if it's on a stationary object. And then he later raised the possibility of this UV light, which people are now attacking too. So even when that moment happened in the White House at the press conference yesterday, and Jonathan Karl wildly jumped to the conclusion that the president was trying to say, inject yourself with isopropyl alcohol, which of course he didn't say. Immediately after that, the president clarified and said, that's not what I'm talking about. So it should have been done right then and there. Now, again, the president will continue to have people say these things about him when he spitballs while he's at the press conference, and he shouldn't. He should save that for the private meetings that they have with the task force every day, and that would probably go a long way. But at the same time, this type of stuff also ends up helping him because then you expose the media for what they are. There's nobody who looks at this with an iota of intellectual honesty and says the president told you to inject Lysol into your veins. That didn't happen. But Nancy Pelosi said it happened. Nancy Pelosi yesterday and the day before, 2 days in a row, also told you that Trump called the virus a hoax, which is a debunked lie that every fact checker in the country has said was a fabrication that never happened. Okay, he did talk about the coverage of it and that sort of thing, but he never called the virus a hoax. That never, ever happened. But Pelosi is still out there telling you that. So when you have people running around and telling you that the president is lying, the president is trying to get people sick by telling them to inject cleaners into their veins, after having already been embarrassed by telling everybody Trump was responsible for this guy and his wife ingesting fish tank cleaner, when that wasn't true, how stupid are you to buy into that same conspiracy theory 2 times in a row? But again, people keep doing it with Trump-Russia collusion. They keep doing it with his bank accounts. They keep doing it with his taxes. They're constantly doing it. And what that does is it makes it impossible to look at the real story. And the real story is UV light has been very promising here. And it said Dr. Brenner's work, I've been telling you about it for quite some time. In fact, ABC just did a story on this 3 days ago. So 3 days ago, ABC did another story on Dr. David Brenner about his this UV light therapy. It's UVC light that they're calling it. This is a very narrow band of UV light that seems to kill this virus. And Cedars-Sinai is now actually working with the federal government to help develop this technology in order to go ahead and kill the virus. So it's not a conspiracy or a myth or something that is, insane or unscientific. It's actually been out there for well over a month that we are aware of because, like I said, before I got sick and had to take a leave of absence from the studio and never stepped foot back in the studio since then, before I did that, I was telling you that story because I was in the MNC studios when we covered it. And the fact that so many members of the media have absolutely no idea that this UV therapy exists tells me that they're not doing their job. Instead, they're focused on manufacturing narratives that the president told you to inject Lysol in your veins, which of course he did not do. And the idea that you could even take that seriously and then attack fact checkers who point out, like the CNN dork did, to attack fact checkers who point out that you are really stretching to even say that the president suggested that, especially after the president clarified moments later, which of course gets left out of all of the audio clips, ladies and gentlemen. How convenient. And they talked about James O'Keefe in his deceptive editing, right? So the fact that the president clarified this and you're still running with it when people fact check it and say the president did not do that, plus he clarified his comments, and then you attack the fact checkers as lying, I mean, that it should cost you all credibility. You should be outraged as a people, as a nation, at media outlets that do this. But instead, I'm seeing so many more people that are outraged that the president would even share any optimism about a second wave of the virus if we're not in the second wave now. So it's frustrating. I promise I'm not going to do this on the radio show. Well, I will do this topic. I have to do this topic on the radio show, but I'm not going to devote a ton of energy to it because I made you all a promise on the radio show today. It's going to be a little bit more lighthearted. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a lighthearted radio show today. I will have this story and others, but I mean, it's insane that people keep falling for the exact same conspiracy theory that just gets repackaged as a new theory. They keep falling for it. And I've told you this for years now. When they accuse Trump of a conspiracy, first thing you need to do is look at the Democrats who've accused him, because they've probably done it. The next thing you have to expect is that when the conspiracy goes away after it's proven to be not true, several months or weeks down the line, they're going to recycle it as a new story. And that is exactly what they're doing with this fish tank story. By the way, new information in the fish tank story, and I know that many of you, the fish tank cleaner story, I should say, many of you, I know that you had this suspicion before and we kind of talked about it, but it looks like the wife of the guy who drank the fish tank cleaner murdered him. So that seems to be the accusation now. And apparently she, according to reports, and we have to verify all of this, but apparently she told the police that she put it in his soda and didn't tell him. So, yeah. But his family and friends are like, he's an engineer. He's not a dumb guy. This guy is not going to drink fish tank cleaner. So, so it looks like she murdered her husband, and then the media basically carried the story of a murderer as if it were a conspiracy, and the president was really responsible for the death of her husband that she killed. And that's some stuff. So we'll continue covering all of that. But I did promise you today on 95.3 MNC that I was going to do a much lighter show than I did yesterday. Yesterday was a pretty heavy show, but today we'll do a lighter show. Okay, so yes, we'll cover this. I have to. There's no getting around not covering a lie that the president told you to inject Lysol into your veins, for crying out loud, and the Speaker of the House telling you that actually happened, and you just heard it. It didn't happen. Let's see. Oh, just in case some people don't know, because I think I saw the drive-in theater came up, but the drive-in theater cannot open in Plymouth. They've been told not to open by state police. They are still accepting donations, though, apparently, for their digital upgrade, they said. So, all right, real quick, go to silverfoxart.com. Again, amazing artwork. None of my listeners, none of them at all, have any work that is getting ready to be delivered. None. None. Sorry, William. So anyway, go to silverfoxart.com. Remember, when you commission a piece, and this is beautiful wood artwork, three-dimensional, backlit, hand-painted, just phenomenal artwork. But if you go to silverfoxart.com and you commission a piece, make sure in the subject line that you put Banana Face 25 on there to go ahead and get yourself a discount. Veterans also get 10% off, and silverfoxart.com. We'll have a giveaway for you for the premium subscribers starting next week. Let's see. Did she intend to murder him, or was she trying to save him from COVID? I know Crowder brought up that she had abused him and they were heading for a divorce. Yeah, so Tracy, this is a great question. There's a bunch of people around that couple that say that they were pretty disgruntled and they were not in a happy marriage. So my guess is that they're leaning towards her killing him. Now, again, it wouldn't matter if she was intending to save him from COVID, since he didn't have COVID. It wouldn't matter if she was intending to save him from it or if she was intending to murder him. The only difference is, does it go from a different murder count to a higher murder count? Because regardless, if he took the fish tank cleaner without knowing it was fish tank cleaner, she murdered him. So they may be able to make a play for manslaughter if it was accidental, but right now all of the information seems to point that she murdered that guy, and the media covered for her story. Any talk about when the rollout of the antibody tests are coming to the general public? No. I know that they're doing them in various markets, but I have no idea. What is actually happening with all of that, folks. We don't have a lot of info. Let's see. UVC is the 250 nanometer wavelength range. Black lights. Yep. All right. There you go. People do need to protect their eyes while dealing with this, as UVC is risky. Okay. There you go. Let's see. I know, too little, too late. Sorry, dude. I honestly, I didn't know it was a secret, man. I was just excited that somebody was getting a pretty cool piece. It looks fantastic. I'm sorry. I feel bad. Not bad enough to give you anything, but I feel bad. Speaking of, because some of you asked me, because I 3D printed this yesterday, and here's the clip on it. Some people asked me to do like a video demonstration of what it was. So this is a hands-free, like a door opener, you know, so you can basically do like this. You can open a door, so you can go like that and kind of open it. So on the door handle, pull it back, that sort of thing, pull down without using your fingers, and then you can put it in the sheath, which can have sanitizer in it to sanitize it. So some people wanted some demonstrations on that. I just printed one up. I printed a couple of these things, just kind of test some stuff out as I'm getting the printers up and running again. And this one works better than the other one that I have. So, but it's pretty cool. You can put some sanitizer in there, so when you do touch it, because obviously the virus will live on the surface, then you put it into the sanitizer and it'll kill the virus off. So there you go. All right. Yeah, so the UK is testing. We've got 3 vaccines in clinical trials now. 3. The oldest one is in the US, and that's been in clinical trials for over a month now. And Tracy, that's why you have the sanitizer. That's the whole point of the sanitizer. If you put the sanitizer in the sheath and you just have it in there, when you put the holder back into the sheath, it'll sanitize it. That's the whole point. All right, any last-minute questions or anything like that? I should have my desk and my computer coming today for this new studio. No, there's nothing for doorknobs that I've seen. I've looked and looked and looked, man. I can't find anything. Sorry. This is mostly for commercial locations, not your house. I am looking at getting a resin printer, too. I think I've settled on the one that I'm going to get. I was going to get a specific one, but they're not shipping right now because they were just launching when the virus hit. So the few that they had made sold out real quick. It was a highly anticipated machine. And I actually sent them a message like, when are you guys going to have new ones? They go, we have no idea. No clue. So UV light injection on YouTube. Great. Well, I'm home until further notice. And I already told my bosses I may never come into work again. But I'm building a studio here because I now have the software and the ability to do radio anywhere in the world. So the idea is that I can do fill-in work, and I can do it from here, and I don't have to worry about having a studio at the station if they're going to be busy. But also, I'm inquiring about some possible television things, so I'm looking into that. And we might do more of the videos and the live streaming and that sort of thing as we've launched the premium service, which starts again next week. There is an Israeli vaccine. They are claiming 100% effectiveness. Yes. Well, okay, so there's an Israeli vaccine. There's also a treatment. And they are claiming 100% effectiveness. Now, I don't know if that's true, but they are making that claim. Yes. So there's several places that have vaccines. Germany has a vaccine. Israel has a vaccine. We have 3 or 4 vaccines. I think there's one in the UK and a couple of other places. So you have to understand, it's a coronavirus, and we have a lot of experience in dealing with coronaviruses. So having a vaccine get up and running fairly quick is not outside of the realm of possibility. But the testing, the trials, the manufacturing, all of that, once it's approved, that all has to happen. So it's going to take some time. Bill Gates is funding a couple of different ones. And one of the earliest vaccines is one that his foundation, it's coming from a company that his foundation invests in, yes. He's not really tinkering with, he's funding. I mean, the Gates Foundation has a lot of investments in a couple of pharmaceutical companies. So the company that makes hydroxychloroquine primarily in the United States, even though there are generic variants. So hydroxychloroquine could basically be made by anybody, but the primary company that makes the name brand of it, it starts with an S, I forget the name of it, that company is one of the companies that has an early vaccine, and the Gates Foundation has been an investor of theirs for a long time. Does the vaccine cover all of the strains? We don't know. We don't know. Again, they're saying there's up to 30 strains right now, so I'm no idea. And I don't think that we're going to know that until the vaccines are done with their trials. You'll pass on bills? Yeah, there was the possibility of doing a trip to Israel at some point in time. That appears to be indefinitely on hold, though. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. So, all right, last couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. I got to go and get ready for the radio show. A little bit behind today. Well, and the thing about sunshine and humidity is, that has been a theory from the very beginning. And the reason that sunshine and humidity have been theorized to kill the virus from early on in January is that it kills other coronaviruses. So again, this is a coronavirus, and we have a lot of experience with coronaviruses, and heat and sunlight kill the other viruses, so does humidity. So it was a natural assumption that this may have a positive effect in getting rid of the virus. Dr. Fauci hasn't specifically said that this will do that, but he has said he expects the virus to come back in the fall when the sun and the heat go away. So, you can read between the lines on this stuff and kind of see that there's something there. And the president, I think, has done a pretty good job, even when he is spitballing, and I don't think he should be spitballing at press conferences, but he has done a really good job of telling everybody, I don't know, this is for the doctors to figure out. I'm just asking. And he probably shouldn't be asking in front of the public, but what it is doing is it's exposing the press for who they are. We don't know what's up with Rocket Man, but South Korea says there doesn't appear to be any movement that there's regime change there. So he may have had a procedure, but as far as him being in a coma or somebody else replacing him, there doesn't appear to be any evidence at this point that has happened. And you always have to assume that we don't know what's happening in North Korea. So if there's a report that comes out, you have to assume that, take it with a grain of salt if there's a report that comes out of North Korea until the North Koreans actually say it, because we don't know. We don't know. I've been on the motorcycle twice. Yeah, twice. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to do it. Don't forget, premium service starts next week on Monday. You will have this free show like you always do every day at 2 o'clock, but it is going to happen right here on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch, on Twitter, Periscope, whatever, wherever you're watching it. This show will be free on Mondays from now on. Tuesday through Friday, they will be for premium subscribers. I will guarantee premium subscribers 3 episodes a week. The aim is to have 4, but I will guarantee you 3. And just because things do happen and I have to work around my work schedule, my family schedule, but we'll make sure that you get stuff. And it may not always be at 2 o'clock. I'll do my best to make sure that it's pretty consistent every day. But you'll have pre-recorded videos. You'll have live streams and a couple of other things as well. So definitely go check that out. Again, to sign up for premium, you have to get on a computer. Don't do it on mobile. Although the mobile site on my phone does work. Okay, so if it doesn't work on yours, I don't know what to tell you. But on my phone, it does work. So just hop onto a computer, go to caseythehost.podbean.com. Okay, and then you can get a free Podbean account. Sign up. Make sure you hit the premium option in the right sidebar. Sign up for whichever one you like, and we will start that service starting next week. I'll have more details again on Monday and on what you should get. But also, silverfoxart.com, we are going to have a giveaway for premium subscribers. That contest will kick off next week as well, and we'll tell you all about it starting on Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Again, please subscribe on YouTube, because even if you're not going to get the premium service, you still get the free stuff, plus you get my other videos that I upload, and some of the content that I put over on premium will just be advanced access to that content, which eventually will make its way to other social media platforms. So again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and on Twitch. I really do appreciate the support. Thank you so much, everybody. Hey, have a wonderful weekend, okay? You all take care of yourselves, and we'll chat at you on 95.3 MNC in just a few minutes.